fucking hell. Hello YouTube, how's it going? Retro Dave back with another video. Yeah, I want to apologise, I'm not in the best of health right now. Nasty cough and a sore throat. So yeah, apologies for coughing fits and sudden swigs of squash to soothe the sore throat. Anyway, hope you're all well. Hope everyone's been busy. I know I sure have, with work, family, one thing or the other. You know what it's like. It's the same old story with me every fucking time I do a video. But yeah, so I've got my new t-shirt on that I showed in the video last week. Sent over from Paul in Canada. Again, thanks Paul. Really like the t-shirt, and I think a few people did as well in the comments. So yeah, thanks very much. Now, so stuff I've got here to show today. Quite a lot of it actually came before I went to Blackpool, so I've kind of like had stuff arrive before, and obviously Blackpool was like its own separate thing. So I'm going to show you stuff that I've had sat here for a few weeks. I've kind of kept to one side to show you guys. So first thing I'm going to show you is a magazine, and as you know, I am collecting the original Club Nintendo magazines. I think I'm short of about 3 or 4 now to have the full set of Club Nintendo magazines, and that is one thing I am looking to full set. I'm not interested in full set game collecting, but the Club Nintendo magazines thing, I really want to get all of them. I will do a separate collection video on those another time, but I managed to find one issue that I was missing. It fills a gap, so it's even better. So the missing one was this one, and it was volume 3, issue 3 of Club Nintendo. It's in really nice condition. Yeah, it's all there, so that's all good. So that is the first item. Really happy to add that into the collection, as I've got a little collection down there, but I'll go into that another time. So yeah, really happy to add that. Okay, I shall show you next. Okay, yeah, right, PlayStation stuff. So obviously this is after Blackpool. I'm not going to keep going to saying when and when it wasn't, but you'll kind of get the idea if you've been watching. So come after Blackpool, got the Metal Slug Anthology arcade stick. So I thought, right, I know, I plugged it all in, set it up on the PVM, and to be honest with you, it didn't look too good in composite. It just looked a bit like shit, to be honest. So I thought, right, if I've, you know, forked out for the game and the arcade stick, I need to do it justice with having a decent picture. So spoke to Daz and a few other people and just said, look, what's the best like hookup for the TV to get it looking the best? I know Daz has done quite a few fancy things with his TVs and turned them upside down and God knows what. So Daz said, yeah, component cable, best way to go. So he said you could find some on eBay, and there's some cheap shit ones and there's some half decent ones. Me being me, a bit of a perfectionist, I thought, I'm not going for the shit, I'm going to go legit. So I just searched for genuine Sony PlayStation component cable, and luckily one was in the UK and the rest were overseas, and they're quite expensive. You know, the component cable I think was 30 odd quid. Now this is the packet for it. Obviously it's not in there because I've actually got it set up. So it's a genuine Sony component cable. The part number is, if anyone's interested by the way, is SCPH 10490. So if you search that, you'll find the genuine article. There's loads of like cheap knockoff ones, but I wanted, you know, the real thing, hoping it was going to be good, and it is. This is, like, say, the packaging, if anyone you want to see what that's all about. Nothing too interesting, but no, really good quality cable, as to be expected. Gold plated ends, connectors. Picture's great. Obviously on the modern telly, I've actually got the PS2 hooked up on the Samsung 32-inch LED telly. So yeah, that's all good. Unfortunately, the cable isn't compatible. Well, I say the cable's compatible. Some games, one I will show soon, and it just by luck, by chance, that one wasn't working. But basically, some games will not output full HD through component on the telly. everything else I've tried, the PS2 does work, apart from this one game, which I'm going to show you in a minute. And PS1 games do not support the signal either, the HD signal. But everything else looks fantastic PS2 wise, can't fault it. Metal Slug looks great, so really happy with that. Worth the money in my opinion for the setup. So what I've actually done is I've got the component cable hooked up in the side of the telly, and the composite cable the same, just basically the video socket is the one that's not being used. So I put that in as well, and then I've piggybacked the audios into a splitter. So basically I've got both cables set up, so if I want to play the PS2 games, it's component, and if I want to do the PS1 stuff, or if the games that aren't compatible, I can just literally plug the cable in the back of the PS2 and it'll play it in a composite. So yeah, so happy with that. And so the game that will not work is actually a game that has very kindly gifted me. So obviously since I've got the arcade stick, wouldn't mind a few shooters for the PS2, and Daz recommended this one, and he very kindly sent over it. It's Gunbird. So I tried this on the component cable, and it won't work through there. At first I thought it was something wrong with the game, but it's not. I've tried the composite cable, and the game doesn't support the HD signal from the component cable. So just thought I'd bring it up in case someone else is wondering why theirs might not work if they've got the same setup. But yeah, fully complete. Haven't actually played the game as yet. I've literally just made sure it worked on the composite, and that's as far as I've got. And because I only got the cable the other day, last week, and I haven't even tried it. So Gunbird, Daz, really appreciate you sending it over, mate. There's something else Daz sent me over, which I'll come up to later on towards the end of the video. He sent me this another little item in the box. So Daz, thanks very much for that, really appreciate it. And another shooter that was sent over from another YouTuber, because he had two of them given to him at Blackpool, and that's Richard Turner. Hope you're doing alright, Rich. Rich kindly sent a little note in his parcel. Basically says, hello Dave, hope the game finds you well. Thanks for an awesome weekend, Blackpool. See you soon, mate, Rich. So, got a little note off Rich. And he, pardon me, sent me Steel Dragon EX. So I have played this one. I tried this on the component cable, the arcade stick, and plays really well. Yeah, really enjoyed it. So it's all complete, and so you can see some shots on the back there. But no, it's a decent shooter. So it's nice to have a couple of shooters to go along with the Metal Slug. So yeah, that's the PS2 stuff. Really happy to add a couple of those games to the PS2 collection, because I haven't bought PS2 stuff for fucking donkeys. So guys, thanks very much for those over. Really appreciate it. Right, we'll go on to another YouTuber gift now. Totally unexpected. He just messaged me on Facebook and said, I've seen something and I've got you it. Hope you haven't got them. So I was thinking, what's this? What's this? He sent me a picture and I couldn't believe what he'd found. And I said, where the hell have you found them? And he said they're in Lidl supermarket. Well, there's not a Lidl around here, so I couldn't even go in there if I wanted to. And he said, yeah, I'll send them over to you. Pardon me. I was like, man, are you sure? You know, I'll pay for them, it's fine. He's like, no, I'm happy to send them over to you. So that's really awesome, mate. And it's from Carl, Daft Twin Rover, or Ocarina Fellow as used to be known. So he sent me a little note. He says, to Retro Dave, saw these little handhelds and thought of you. Look cheap, but apparently are official. Anyway, they hope they fit well in the collection, mate. Speak soon, Carl. So, dude, that's awesome. Thanks very much. And I know some of you on Facebook have been showing these. I think other people have mentioned that they've got them as well. And they are the Game & Watch Mini Classic key rings. So there's the Mario Brothers one, Donkey Kong Jr. and Mario Cement Factory. So Carl, that is like really good of you, mate, to see these, think of me and just get them and just send them my way out. Yeah, that's really, really kind, mate. Thanks very much. Blown away by that. So 3 Game & Watches. I'm just going to probably keep them in the packets, to be honest. yeah, I just want to keep them as they are in the packet, and I'm going to stick with the Game Watch collection. So Carl, I really appreciate it. Thanks very much. That's really nice of you to send those over. Right, I'm going to have to have a quick mouthful of drink because my throat is killing on the harsh stuff. I've been out today, kids party, I've had some beers, I've had a Red Bull, so I'm now on the squash. Oh, right. Okay, now we're going back to before Blackpool. I grabbed some NES titles, and these were box complete upgrades for my loose cartridges. So if you've been watching recently and you've seen my Blackpool video, you may know what's coming up now, because the loose cartridges for these games I actually gave to Matt, Southwark Metro, at Blackpool. Obviously I bought these first before I did that. So these are the box complete upgrades, and as I said before in earlier videos, my NES loose cart collection I'm slowly upgrading to box complete copies as and when I find the games in the condition that I'm happy with. And these three have come off of a collector. He's sold a chunk of his collection off, and I basically got them all off the same person. So the first game upgraded was Star Wars. So classic NES platformer, and I'll try and give you a bit of old school box pour now. It is in a really minty condition. Obviously I'm not going to get it all out, it is all fully complete. Poster, manual, everything, cart label is perfect. So yeah, really happy to add that one. Next up, this one's actually, well, the next two are actually surprisingly hard to find in decent condition. You can get the cartridges pretty easily. Boxes come up as and when, but to find these two in mint condition, I've been looking for a long time. The game I'm going to show you is the one I've been searching out the most. This one is hard to find in decent condition. It's quite surprising, and this is a game my brother had back in the day. Used to play a lot in his bedroom, and it's just a great fun quirky like puzzle game, and it's Trog. So box complete again in mint condition. Really happy to have found this one in this condition. So I've not had this box complete at all since I've started collecting the game, but to have it again in this condition is fantastic. Again, it's all there, mint condition. Really happy with that. And the game I was actually seeking out at first, and then checked the other guys' listings and saw those two. This was what I've been searching for the most. This is one I remember getting back in the day in Woolworths. Fantastic game. I know some people are not a massive fan of these games, the movie license games, but for me this was very nostalgic, and again to find this in nice condition is actually quite difficult. And it is Bart versus the World. I had this one about 10 years ago, and I got a feedback, and it had a rip across the back of the box, which weren't actually as it was described, as yellow sellotape on it, which really pissed me off. To have this one is really fantastic. As you can see, it's in really lovely condition. There's one little snot on this side, the other side there's like a slight crease on the side of the box, but I'm alright with that. This is, you know, it's on this side, you can probably just about see it here, but it's nothing, you know. I'm absolutely fine with it. The front of the box is perfect. Again, fully complete. That's that poster, but it's got the manual. Don't think it come with a poster anyway. But yeah, really happy to have this one box complete in this condition. Yeah, really chuffed with that. So I know Matt's already got the loose cartridges. So Matt, I hope you're enjoying those. Hey. Oh, fuck's sake. Oh, I'm dying now. Yeah, always good to get box complete in these games. Okay, now we're going to move on Sega Master System. So it's going to be like quite a varied selection today. 2 Master System games, both fantastic games. One I had again about 10 years ago, used to play a lot, and it's classic game. Again, I'll put this one down in a really lovely condition, and it is Special Criminal Investigation, Chase HQ 2. I think, is it Chase HQ 2? Chase HQ 2. yeah, Special Investigation. So fantastic game, mint condition. So I'm only looking for the games in this kind of condition. Just yeah, really love condition, really great game. It shouldn't need much explaining. I'm sure most of you have probably played this game already, or at least know of it. So that is Chase HQ2. Right, next up, classic game again. It actually came built into the Master System too. Obviously I've got the Master System 1. Wanted the game, and to get it on like a cartridge version is actually quite difficult. It's not mega rare, but it's quite hard to find a decent copy. Had to import this one for the condition it's in. I was happy to do so, and it is the classic Alex Kidd in Miracle World. I think essential Master System purchase. I'm sure you would agree. It is in fantastic condition. Dare I say, almost mint. The manual looks like it's never been touched. Cart label's perfect. So yeah, really happy with that. And I'm sure again, most of you have already played this game. It needs no explanation. Alex the Kid. I've not actually played much of the other games in the Alex Kidd series. For me, I just love this one. So really happy to grab that. So that is Alex Kidd in Miracle World. Okay, we're going to Sega now, and the rest of the video is going to be Sega orientated. So yeah, as you know, I'm on the Sega bandwagon with my varied console editions. So we've got the Master System, and now we've got some Sega Saturn stuff. So these 3 games I bought before I went to Blackpool. So again, this before I'd got it off of the Saturn for Jay. I knew the deal was going to happen, so I picked these up. Nothing majorly, no, it's not mega rare stuff, but this is stuff. These are games I used to have back in the day. So I wanted, like, you know, my original like set for the Saturn. I did have a Saturn back in the day, not new, but I had one, and I bought certain games, and these are 3 games that I had. So I was happy to pick them up, and one of them was Die Hard Trilogy. Yeah. I put this on with the gun, the light gun that I got off of Matt, and it was wicked to play that again. I haven't played the Die Hard. It's what is it? Is it Die Hard? Die Harder, isn't it? Yeah, Die Hard 2, Die Harder. The light gun game, fantastic. It has aged quite badly, if I'm honest, by today's standards. But it was a right blast to play it again. Wicked stuff. Now, I don't like football. I'm not a football fan at all. But this game, I actually enjoy playing on the Saturn, and it's one I used to play quite a bit. And it's Sega Worldwide 97. I know you might be thinking, what the fuck are you doing buying that shit? But it's one I used to play back in the day, and yeah, I wanted it to have more like my original set back. But yeah, it's not bad at all. And this game I remember buying brand new in game back in the day. And it is Hexen. So a little bit like Doom, like first person dungeon crawler kind of game. Fuck. Hexen, before I choked to death. So yeah, happy to grab those 3. So now with the stuff I've got for Jay's, I've got the original Saturn collection back, which is awesome, and it's been done with 1 purchase. So yeah, really happy about that. So that is the Sega Saturn stuff. Okay. Now, I've got 1 Spectrum item I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to move on to the item I've been waiting for a couple of weeks to turn up, which is the main, for me, the main event. So, I shall show you this first. Now, as you know, I picked up a mint condition ZX Spectrum fairly recently, about a month ago. Now, obviously, I don't want it getting all shitty and dirty. And I'm thinking, now there must be some way of protecting it, covering it. I thought I got a towel or something. I thought, nah, it looked rubbish. So trying to find something I could cover it with. And then I looked on Facebook, and a group went on Facebook. Someone asked the exact same question, and someone posted a link to a website that sold covers for Spectrum computers and loads of other bits and pieces. So I went over, and I was like, no way, that is exactly what I want. So this is the company. It's called retrocables.es. So in Spain. So that is the company. Obviously the website is on there, so feel free to go and take a look. Prompt, reliable service, really happy. So I'm going to show you now what I bought, and it's a cover for my Spectrum Plus 2. So monkey spurs, I'm sure you might be interested in something like this. So it basically elasticated, fits over the Spectrum, lovely, just to keep the dust off. So obviously there's the back, and when you're not using it, it's nice just to plonk the covers. Obviously I'll leave it all plugged in. I've only obviously unplugged it for the video, but to have it sat just on the table there with the cover on, perfect. So I think this was about, I think it was about £7-8 delivered. So it was something like that. It weren't a lot. It was about less than 10 quid, I think. A bargain. You know, keeps it protected. Dust off of it. You know, it's like if you're not playing it for a few weeks or whatever, gets a bit dusty, and the old computer, you don't want dust in your keyboard. So for me, that was an essential purchase for the Speccy. So fantastic stuff. So I recommend you go over and take a look and check them out. I'll just see if I can show you kind of the quality of it. It's like a thin, like a nylon material. I don't know what it's made of. There's not a label, but it's got like a stitched edge down the edges. It is a nice fit. It's a nice fit. Really happy with it. So that is the Speccy cover. So I should dump that back down here. Okay, so the next thing I've got, the main event, I should say, is what's that I've been looking forward to picking up for a little while. I was looking for one at Blackpool. I was looking for 2 systems at Blackpool. The main one I wanted was a Virtual Boy. I was a bit optimistic to wonder if they were going to have one, and of course they didn't. I mean, there was a lack of traders anyway. So I thought, yeah, and I asked everyone, no Virtual Boy. So that is something I'm looking for. But second on the list, was more achievable, was this system. And they didn't have one. They had PAL versions, but I wanted the American one, so I decided to go American. Some people said, why didn't you go Japanese? But I wanted the like the PAL American cover art, because that's what I'm used to. But I wanted it American, so I wanted the 60Hz full screen, everything else. Basically Jay had the system at his, and it was a good place to try out the system, because it's going to sound really, I'm going around in circles here. Basically I thought I could get a PAL Mega Drive. It's basically PAL Mega Drive, and we modded it to 60Hz. How would it run? Switched. So he's got an American Genesis, and we ran PAL like Sonic through it, which would in theory replicate running a PAL Mega Drive with a switch to 60Hz. It would basically run the same. And you can see that when it's moving quickly, the screen actually judders. It judders enough to notice, because when he put in American Genesis Sonic in the Genesis, it ran perfect. And I thought, right, that's the way to go. I'm not going to fuck around getting a PAL Mega Drive and modding it and forcing PAL games to run at 60Hz, because for me, I'm not happy with how it looks. Like I said before, a little bit of a perfectionist. I want it to be right. For me, it has to be right. If it's not right, don't bother. That's just me. So yeah, I weren't happy to get a PAL Mega Drive. I know it'd be easier to get the games. The games probably cost less. I haven't got to import them or whatever. But I'm not bothered. I'm happy to pick the games up as and when. And I wanted to get an American Genesis. Didn't want to go down the Jack route, although it's the kind of same output, but the language different. I know most of the games aren't text heavy. I'll appreciate that, but I'm not bothered about Jap stuff. For me, it's PAL or USA NTSC. So that's what I've done. So anyway, as some of you may or may not be aware, there is several variations of the Genesis. I know there's a Genesis Model 1, Genesis Model 2, same as a Mega Drive 1 and 2, and I understand that. but I wanted obviously the early one. I wanted the Mark 1 Genesis. So with the Mark 1 Genesis, there's several types, like build times. They change things inside, which makes some of them not as good as the other. Now, what I'll do, obviously I'm not super knowledgeable on this subject. I'm not going to pretend I know everything, because I don't. But I did some research. I looked into what one to get. Now, basically, the launch system, the first system is high definition graphics model, and basically it has a non-TMSS, which is trademark security screen, or trademark startup screen, something like that. So what it basically means is, when you power it up, you don't get the white text, which is something like under license or produced by Sega Enterprises Limited, something like that comes up, like that white text. Then the game starts. So with that model, that doesn't happen. The game just boots straight to the game. Now, those models had the better sound chip inside, so the sound's better. And the ones that were made after that, they changed the sound chip, so the sound quality was poorer. Now, again, I'm not going to pretend I know everything about it, because I don't, but I'm going to put a link to a video in the description below to the video I watched, pardon me, which helped me identify the right model. I had a good idea. I've chatted to Jay, Cybersnake and Pete, Fantastic. I asked them questions. I got them to send me pictures. Well, Jay sent pictures of the bottom of his Genesis, so I could check the model number and everything else, and the serial numbers, because that's all important. And the video I'll link below will explain all that as well. So I managed to look and track down one of these non-TMSS Genesis consoles. Now, I was about 90% sure it was a non-TMSS, because I asked the guy if he could try it, and he didn't have the means to actually test it at the time, because he didn't have an old tally. The guy had 100% positive feedback. I had no reason to doubt that he was bullshitting. But everything else added up on the console that needed to be there. So I was at 90% sure. So it was all there with the original controllers, everything else. So I went and bid on it, and I ended up winning it, and it arrived today. So really, really happy to have got it, and I tested it out, and it is the non-TMSS. So I was really, really happy that it's the right one that I wanted. So now I'm going to grab the console, and I shall show you. So here we go. So this is it. This is the Mark 1 Sega Genesis non-TMSS version. So it has the high definition graphics mark on the top. It also has the external port there. Now on the bottom of the machine, I'm not sure how this is going to come out, because I'm trying to look this through a mirror. But basically, I'll let you watch the video that I'll link below. It'd help if it was up the right way, wouldn't it? So basically, the model number is a 1601, and the serial number, if the number's between 30 and 39, that is generally a non-TMSS model. And also in the FCC ID here, it needs to have the E, so FJ846E USA Sega. So on those points, the external port, the 30 to 39 serial number, and the E in the FCC ID, that was enough guarantee for me that this was going to be the right one, and it was. So if anyone is looking into buying one of these, I would recommend trying to search out this model, because this one has the better sound. If you're not too bothered, you know, if you're not as anal as me about having it right, go and knock yourself out and get whatever one you want. But if you're a bit like me and you want to have the best of what you can get, then that's what to look out for. But again, I'll link the video in the description below. There's a guy in America that did a video. He's got both versions side by side. He shows you the comparisons of what the markings I've just showed you, how they boot up, so you can get more understanding. But I'm just giving you like an overview. So that's the console. The console came with the pretty useless to me standard RF connection and the Genesis power supply, which obviously isn't going to work in the UK. This is where my good friends come in, the YouTubers. Stu, to UK, very kindly sent me a Mark 1 Mega Drive power supply, which is exactly the same voltage, output's 10 volt, so happy days. Tried it, works. Stu, thanks very much. This wasn't a gift, this is kind of a trade in lieu, we agreed. So he sent me this now, and I know I've got an idea of what I'm going to send him in return. So Stu, really appreciate it, mate. Obviously it came today, so I was able to test the system, and after this video I look forward to playing it. So Stu sent me that, and then another YouTuber, as mentioned earlier, Daz Cahones very kindly sent me the Retro Computer Shack RGB cable with the headphone socket. So that's awesome. So guys, really appreciate that, to get the old Genesis up and running. Now what it also came with, which was for me was essential, it needed to be right, and it came with the correct original Genesis controllers, which are the ones with the red text. So these are the first edition Genesis controllers. So yeah, really happy to, and then they're in good condition, both work fine. The I say D-pad they're both good, and they just got the standard button rail. There's no bits inside loose like on the other Mega Drives I had before, so really happy with that. Also came with one game and a photocopied manual. I weren't too bothered about the manual, to be honest. I wanted the system to be right and in good condition, but the guy sent a photocopied manual, so that's all good. One game to get me going, Sonic 2. So the case I could do with replacing at some point, but again, it was the game that was bundled with it, just to get me going. So Sonic 2, I shall be giving that a blast after this video, and that, guys, is basically the final part. Really happy to have got the right Genesis, so really happy with that. Look forward to giving it a play very shortly. Again, guys, Daz, Carl, Rich, Tootie, thanks very much for the gifts / trades. Really appreciate it. And guys, that is it. Yeah, that is it for now. I have got some Spectrum games that I've had come over the last, like, I don't know, 5 weeks ish, which I'm going to do another video on. That'll just be specifically Spectrum pickups. But for now, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks for persevering with the cough and the sore throat, and I shall catch you again soon for another one. Take it easy.